Welcome back once again to howtocookwreckfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see right here, I've just finished this. We're making a really beautiful chicken curry with some dal or lentils. I've got some lovely flavours happening in there. It's pretty easy. You can use any type of dal you like. Today I'm using a red lentil or dal, and again with the chicken I'm using chicken thighs, but you can use any part of the chicken that you want. It's got a little kick to it. I'm happy about that. Wonderful delicate spices going on in there as well. Enough chatting, let's go and do it. Okay, let's run through some of these ingredients that we're going to be using today. At the back here, as you can see, I've got some chicken, which I've cleaned really well. I'm using chicken thighs. You can use any part of the chicken that you like. Skin on and the bone is in there. And just there I've got some garlic ginger paste, which is a 50-50 mix of garlic and ginger, finely minced. There's about 3 teaspoons there. I've got some chopped onion there, finely chopped. I'm using a red onion. In here I've got my powders. Equal parts again, teaspoon of each of chili powder, cumin powder, coriander powder and turmeric. Here I've got some whole seeds or garam masala, cumin seeds, fennel seeds, mustard seeds, some green cardamon and a few cloves. Over here, plenty of green chili. I mean, this is going to be quite hot, this one. You can adjust that if you want. Some fresh tomato here chopped. And just here, I've got some dal, which has been soaking for about 2 hours. We're going to cook that off in there as well. We're going to make a beautiful sauce along with the tomatoes. I'm using a red dal, which actually turns yellow when you cook it, but you can use any type of dal that you like, and there are plenty of different dals to choose from. We're going to start this off with a little bit of oil. We're going to add a little bit of seasoning and possibly some fresh coriander or something like that at the end. It's going to be absolutely delicious, this, with quite a kick. Let's get over to the cooker, start cooking. So here we are, I've got my favourite pan. You're going to need one with a lid as well. This has got a lid. And I've got some oil in there. I'm using a sunflower oil today, but you could use any oil that you liked. Possibly a coconut oil, give it a distinctive flavour, or ghee possibly. Let's start off by dropping in our whole seeds or whole garam masala. And like I say, I've got fennel seeds, cloves, cumin seeds, black mustard seeds and a few green cardamom in there. You could mix and blend a little bit more than that if you wanted. You could add some red chilli dry, bay leaf, some methi. I mean, the list goes on and on. The combinations of garam masala is enormous. So you just want to kind of cook these until they start to splutter. And what they're doing is they're infusing that oil with their fantastic flavours. And the next step is we're going to add our chicken now, and we're going to just fry that off for about 4 or 5 minutes on quite a high heat, stirring all the time, just to seal it and get some beautiful flavours in there. Let me drop this chicken in. So there we go. On a high heat, I'm going to cook this, like I say, 4 or 5 minutes. Getting all of those lovely garam masala spices on there. Just seal it a little bit and give it a little bit of a head start. Then I'll be back. Stir often. As you can see, our chicken is sealed nicely. I mean, it's nowhere near cooked inside. Now, we've got too much oil in there. We've got a lot of oil come out of this chicken, so I'm going to reduce this oil a little bit, and then I'll be back. So yeah, I'm going to reduce it by about sort of 60–70%. There we are, that's a bit better for me. And you will find that with certain types of chicken. I mean, you could leave it in, no problem, and it's, you know, it's just a little bit unhealthy, but sometimes lots of oil is really good. But today I'm just going for this. Okay, now we're going to add some onions. In they go. Like I say, I'm using red onion today, but you can use any type you like, a white or a brown. Now we're still on a high heat. While I'm here, I'm going to add my garlic ginger paste. In that goes. Now we use garlic ginger paste because we just cook a lot of food that requires that. And we make it in kind of bulk and store it. But you can, if you want, just get some fresh ginger and some fresh garlic and chop it up. It doesn't have to be to an actual paste if you don't want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that dal. I'm using red dal or lentils, and like I say, that's been soaked in water for about 2 hours. Now what we're going to do again, we're going to kind of stir fry this around on this high heat for about another 3 to 4 minutes, just to kind of get some goodness happening all around there. And then I'll be back to move on to the next step. There we are, just a few minutes. Now of course, depending on the type of dal that you use, I mean, some dal is really hard, so soaking it first is not going to really help. It won't cook in time. This kind of dal, it will cook beautifully like this. So if you're going to use a different type of dal, or like a mung bean for example, you're going to actually need to cook them properly first and then add them. Because like I say, your chicken would have completely fallen apart before they get to the stage of being edible. The next stage for us now is I'm going to add my tomatoes, those fresh chopped tomatoes. And what I like to do is get a nice juicy tomato, get the most ripe tomato you can for this. Now we're going to add a lid. Hey, before I do that, let's just add a little bit of salt in there. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to pop a lid on. And the steam that it creates will cook the tomatoes down. And the tomatoes will create a little bit of a gravy. Now we may or may not need to add some water. Looking at this right now, I think we are going to need to add a little touch of water, but you never know. We can't tell until we come back. So lid on, I'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes. Give it a little stir every now and then. Okay, let's jump inside and take a look. There'll be lots of steam here. Oh wow, I mean, I've got loads and loads of juice out of my tomatoes. I'm actually quite surprised. So for me, I don't need to add any more liquid. You can if you want. I mean, like I say, if your tomatoes aren't as juicy as these, I mean, like I say, I'm pretty surprised about that. You could just add a bit more liquid in there, water or stock if you wanted even. Okay, now it's time to add some of our spices. Like I say, got equal parts, like a teaspoon each of chili powder, coriander powder, cumin powder, and turmeric or haldi. Let's give them a beautiful mix in there. And already that dal or the lentils are really kind of softening. Like I said, it's because I sort of just left them soaking in some water for a couple of hours. Now I did rinse them, I forgot to tell you that. I did wash and rinse them about 4 times before I left them in water. You know, change the water and then let them go to soak. At this stage I'm going to add some green chilli, fresh green chilli. And this looks like loads and loads, but this is not that hot, this chilli, in fact. I mean, it's the more sort of long ones as opposed to the short green ones, which I usually use actually, are about twice as hot. But again, judge that for yourself and put in as much chilli as you like. I mean, they're not going to be super mild, I'll tell you that, but it does look like a hell of a lot. So, most of our work is actually done now. Lid's going to go back on. That's going to go onto a simmer, and I'm going to let that go for about another 15 to 20 minutes, but I'll be checking it every now and then to see. Let me just check this dal right now. It's pretty soft already, the dal, so yeah, about 15 to 20 minutes. Give it a stir every now and then, and we'll move on from there. Okay, let's turn off the heat and jump inside. Now that is looking wonderful to me. Beautifully thick. That dal is really started to kind of break down now. I'm really happy with that consistency. You need to check this for salt. That's going to be fine for me, I'm sure. Got a wonderful chicken dish there. I mean, nice bit of kick to it. I'm going to finish this off now with a ton of cilantro or fresh coriander. I just love that. And I'm going to mix that in as well. So this is going to be absolutely beautiful with some just plain rice, or with some paratha or roti or chapati, you know. This is just going to be beautiful with some, in fact I'm going to eat it with some sort of bread, maybe a naan bread or something like that. With that, it's going to be delicious. With a nice paratha on the side. Of course you can check out, we've got loads of parathas by the way on the channel, all different ones, beautifully fruity ones. Hope you enjoy that. I'm really going to enjoy it myself. That I'm really going to enjoy it. Don't forget, please, to subscribe to our channel. Join us, join the family of cooking that we do. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Lots of love.